Hey everybody, welcome to The Reliables, a live stream series here on the Zombie Orpheus Entertainment channel on Twitch. I'm your host and GM, James Durham. The Reliables is an interactive Savage Worlds tabletop RPG show where you, our audience, have a direct impact on the story and events on the show.
Darn right.
You affect the game itself. So check out our store now and see all the ways that you can support this show and have fun with us and play along with us as almost your own independent character in all of this. Let me take a moment and introduce our cast of characters. Bryce Bebop plays the daring Vector Raynes, the cocky action hero extraordinaire. Christian Doyle is Jonomox, serving out the remaining prison sentence paroled to the team. Jonomox is the last surviving member of a species of shape-altering beings. Sean Franklin is John Stone, cyborg, badass, team leader, and veteran of countless dimension-hopping adventures. It's up to John to forge this loose group of individuals into a functioning team. Elise Moore is Ranger Rhonda Riddenhauer, the last Space Ranger, protector of the galaxy. Rhonda jumped at the chance to join a team with the goal of making the universe a better place. Together, they are the Reliables, traveling through time and dimensions to make the universe a better place, one mistake at a time. Our episode begins with the team already in the field on another mission of dire importance from the Council. This time, they're here to stop an extinction-level event. Over a year ago, a dimensional invasion was thwarted by the Council, and the invaders driven back to their own dimension, leaving behind their advanced technology among those they once subjugated. This particular dimension, 00909, was one such place. Here, the invaders used a then undiscovered remote island to begin their conquest. And now the native peoples of this realm have discovered it. In this alternative Earth dimension, the year is 1942 and war rages in the South Pacific. Two nations are in a close race to seize this lost island and the wealth of technology left behind. Among them are those who would inadvertently trigger a nuclear blast that will wipe out nearly all life on the planet if they are not stopped. With the Reliance safely concealed with its cloaking device along the shore, John Stone, Vector Raynes, Jonomox, and Ranger Rhonda have begun a trek on this mysterious island, while conflict rages in the air and sea around it. Even here on this strange place, the sound of weapons fire can be heard from soldiers of the warring nations engaged in a struggle over the invaluable technologies here.
Well, this is nice.
I mean, an ocean breeze is, never unwelcome.
Always be prepared for a party on the beach, everyone.
Yeah, I was wondering, is what is that?
What is what?
The drink. Vector, what do you a Mai Tai?
Oh, I love those. Those are the ones. Wait, are those the ones with coconut?
No, mate.
Uh,
I make mine.
Take
with
a sip.
coconuts.
Let us know.
Yeah.
pineapple. It's got.
Oh,
Oh, I thought I.
And I can't fight the feeling anymore. I've forgotten what I started fighting for. It's time to bring this ship to shore and throw away the bennies forever. You owe me a dance, hashtag Jamais dance.
Oh, we do owe a dance.
that is true. We do very much owe a dance. And I'm sure that our lovely tech will surprise us with that at some perfectly opportune moment to make us dance like puppets. Oh, here we are.
That was
I think I heard it.
opportune.
Uh-oh.
I like how it definitely has a groove.
It has a groove. Dance, puppets, dance.
The problem is I keep doing this with my other hand.
If I had the choice, if I had the time,
Ooh, high road.
this wouldn't be the end of the line. I'd be walking to the beat of a different drum, making up for living and never done. I'd be hopping in my new jack, cruising down the track, got my own land, don't you know?
Isn't this like a 5-minute song?
Every single place I go,
However long they torture us with it.
take the high road. Low road ain't my road.
Oh.
Now, if
And
you're
there
all
we
done
were.
acting ridiculous, we have a mission to accomplish.
You're
This
the one
is how we
making
get
this, right,
warmed
John?
up. This is our warm up.
Right.
Look, we're
So-
here for a reason. We're not here to. Are you here for a party? What are you wearing?
I was told there was a beach.
Not every beach is for cookouts and volleyball.
You
yeah,
did say
I
it
got
was
a
an island.
Hawaiian shirt. I got my drink. I brought snacks.
Do you?
Did you bring enough for the rest of the team? No, you didn't,
Oh,
did you?
no.
Because you're selfish.
Well-
Selfish is a strong word.
Rhonda's just in the corner, like building a little sand castle. just has checked out and is just, and then trying to
Island
keep the
adventure.
ocean away from it.
So I've been scanning, and fortunately, nobody's
Right.
aware of our presence. But there are troops here on the island. So just
what-
be aware, okay?
What kind of troops?
Well, doesn't any of them have anything that's really formidable as far as their ability to harm us? It's
No,
mostly stuff that
I meant specifically because this is an Earth parallel, so it's like 1942 here. I just want to know who's fighting. Is it the Allied forces versus the Axis forces?
Well, in the 40s, everybody was fighting pretty
They had
much.
axes?
Yeah, yeah.
Axis.
They carried around.
I
axes,
fought with
guess.
an axe before. It's not good.
My question is: are there Nazis? Because if this would have been the last place we visited, that would be taken care of already.
I read about that guy. He was bad.
Yeah.
Thank you for. I mean, I know we weren't supposed to, but.
Finally
Jonomox, you
somebody
deserve a
says thank
medal.
you.
Whew.
This
Instead of
location
a-
seems to be where they've been doing experiments of some kind. Exactly what, I'm not sure, but this isn't one of the islands that were supposed to be pivotal to the theater of combat here. So I'm not really sure what we're gonna find here.
But we have a
Okay, well-
signal to lock onto.
Do we have a main objective here?
Okay. So they left behind some technology and equipment. They being not the people who are indigenous to this area, obviously. Jonomox, what do you know about the Trinity?
Let's see. Human, prime adjacent, super high technology, lots of cloning. Just got in trouble with the council for invading. They invaded here. This is one of their staging grounds. Yeah?
Precisely. So the
But-
Council of Peers has sent us here to retrieve some things that they must have left behind. We're gonna have to find them. I assume they don't want them to get into the hands of these folks who shouldn't be having them to begin with.
All right. So there is some super advanced technology from another dimension here on this weird tropical island that apparently has megafauna if you look at the poop. And the soldiers are fighting on this island over this technology, but they're going to blow everything up.
Hashtag hack attack it's me. There may be a plan. Who else is in?
A hack attack. Uh-oh. Hey, GM, what's a hack attack?
Oh, wow. A hack attack is something that is in the store that allows the members of chat who contribute to it or who purchase it to add just about anything they want to the story as it is occurring. Examples in the past have included floods, sentient transforming Winnebagos, and all kinds of other strange things. You can't really predict what they will hack attack in.
It can get weird real fast.
I love it.
So yeah, there's stuff here that shouldn't fall into the hands of these people because it's not really from their time. So it seemed like it's pretty straightforward, but you know how these things go. It's probably not. So just stay alert, all right? No more dancing.
Yes, sir.
I don't think we're in control of that, Johnstone.
What
I
do you
felt
mean?
I had the fever. I had the boogie woogie flu, and I had to let it out. It was,
Well, get over it. We got work to do.
right.
Yes, sir.
And I had to work it out.
Indeed. You do have a signal that you are following, Johnstone, that you have locked onto. It is somewhere deeper within the island, seemingly in the direction of the lone volcano at its center.
Awesome. There's a volcano. At least it's not going to be friggin' cold here. That ship is like 40 degrees all the time. How do you people survive? I can see my breath in there, and I live in a jar.
A jar.
Yeah, well, cyborgs don't really care about cold very much.
Ever I
Yeah,
got
I
know.
hot. So
I've had a conversation with you, Johnstone.
Back on the farm, it can get down to, negative 20 degrees. You still gotta go up, round up all the animals.
Curious
Fair
to see where the hashtag hack attack goes.
Uh-oh, they're building towards it.
Oh boy. I don't even know what that was. They don't have Catholics on my planet. But I just feel that's probably going to go somewhere bad.
Sir, I would like to point out that it is a ranger's prerogative to engage in violence only at the very moment it is needed and to be avoided at all other costs. So are we planning to, is this a covert operation? Are we sneaking? How are we approaching this?
Look, we're never going to try to cause more damage than absolutely necessary. And we definitely don't want to cause any innocent harm. I don't know if there are any innocents here. Everybody here seems to be trying to kill each other anyway. But we're going to try to not cause a scene, not be noticed, or else time continuum, disruption, you know how it goes.
Right.
And yet the team you brought is the four most combat effective members of the crew. Weird.
Well, we got to be
Always
ready.
be prepared, though.
I mean, we're a little over prepared. This is
Vector, you had something to say?
I feel like staying low profile and not being noticed
Not your strong suit?
goes against my core.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll get a new core, all right? Get
I'm
it quick.
not you. I can't just put a new thing inside of me.
Is that a cyborg joke?
No, it wasn't a joke. That's what you do, right?
I mean, he doesn't have a
You're
point.
on
That
thin
is-
ice
that is what
already,
you do.
Vector. Coming here dressed like that.
I fit in more than you.
And you do look like a boss, Vec.
Thank you. See, Jonomox gets it.
You know, he's dressing for the part that he wants, and you know he's gunning for your job, Johnstone.
I was told Tropical Island, not Robo Convention. So I think I'm fitting in way better.
Oh, whoa. he's probably pretty sensitive about that
Oh,
in the fleshy
I'm sorry,
parts,
John.
I mean.
I didn't mean to.
So, Vector, how about you take point?
Ooh.
Scout ahead. See if there's anything of danger, all right?
The only danger here is me succeeding so well they replace you.
Good luck. I hope
Okay,
you do.
hold
All right,
on.
team.
Before you go into the jungle alone, Vector, you might want to wash off some of the cologne. The
Yes,
predators
it
are
is.
gonna
Quite strong.
if you're gonna do any kind of scouting. I know stealth's not your thing, but come on, bud.
Oh, I wasn't going to scout. I was going to delegate. That's what leaders do. Because
Well,
John
you
Stone,
have been delegated to, Vector.
what was that?
You're scouting.
Yeah,
Oh.
and no offense, Vec, but I'm gonna do what John Stone says since he's the one that has the button that can make me shit my pants.
I'm going to do what he says because he's the one in charge.
For now. Well, I guess I'm scouting then, everyone.
All right, you proceed into the jungle, moving through and following the signal that John Stone is tracking.
Stay low. God, he sucks at this.
After several minutes of traveling through the jungle, John Stone, you receive a message on your comms. Commander Stone, Pierce here. I'm trying to make some repairs to the Reliance's systems, and I need to reboot the AI. We're going to be offline for a short time while that's happening. I just wanted to give you a heads up.
Copy, Pierce.
Copy, Pierce. What does that mean?
That means I've been informed that we don't have connection to the Reliant. Shouldn't need it. Nothing to worry about. We'll
Wait.
just press on. Vector, go ahead. Do your
All
thing.
right. Scouting on. I can do this.
You continue to move through the dense jungle and come across a trail, Vector. It's well worn and beaten down. Like there's a lot of heavy traffic through here. There are signs of a conflict in this trail. There's bloody pieces of fatigues, broken weapons, and shattered helmets on the ground, but no bodies of any kind.
I found something. There.
Yeah, we all found something.
Yeah.
But I was
You just-
scouting, so I needed to alert you.
Akadak, I really want to see this one go off.
Oh.
They're conspiring against us.
Yes,
why
indeed they
wouldn't
are. And
Vector, you don't have to tell us every time you find something. Just make a note of it and remember where it is and come back. You can't make so much noise when you're scouting.
But how will they see me?
They're not supposed to see you.
But then how will they tell their friends of Vector? Okay, I got this.
in fact, standing on that trail, now that they've caught up to you, the group of you can hear something moving through the jungle, getting closer, coming down the trail, and then bearing down on you, going at an incredible rate of speed, straight towards this trail, right at you, are ants the size of small automobiles.
Oh. Like
Oh,
my
small
Aunt Jan.
automobiles. Okay, as long as they're small ones.
Car-sized ants. Very, very, very angry-looking car-sized ants, moving at a high rate of speed directly towards you, thundering along. And we're going to go into initiative with the lovely cards used on Savage Worlds. Before we get started in this combat, I want to remind you guys that you guys have 2 Friends with Benefits in the store. So in addition to your base bennies, they've already bought some bennies for you. But, to round that out, they also bought a couple from me, too. So
Oh, the bastards. And they're working on a hack attack in chat. I'm worried about this.
yes, they are. So let's go ahead and deal out cards for initiative, 1 for every player and 1 for the GM as well.
Oh, hey, Reliables. Let's wave at the Raiders.
Since
Hi,
the Reliance-
Raiders.
Hello.
So since the Reliance is inaccessible to us, could they give us bennies and a jet?
I like that one. I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
So let's see what these initiative cards come out to for all of us, including myself.
Come on, something good.
Ace,
Big bucks, no whammies. Big bucks, no
Joker,
whammies.
Joker.
There we go. I got some cards out. Oh,
Ooh.
it looks like we got to deal another card to Rhonda because she can't have lower than a 6.
Hey!
And she gets a joker. Oh, man. In the game of Savage Worlds. In the game of Savage Worlds, when you get the Joker, you get to decide when you want to go on any given round. You can go first. You can go in the middle of someone else's turn, interrupting the action in progress if you want to. You get to go anytime you want. In addition to that, when you are dealt the Joker in a game of Savage Worlds, anything you do during that turn, you get a +2 bonus to whatever that roll happens to be, whether it's fighting, soaking a wound, or attempting any other skill or trait test. You're just better at it when you get a Joker drawn. So unless you want to go first, Ranger Rhonda, it's going to be John Stone leading the charge on this.
Ooh. No, I'll let John Stone go first.
All right, John Stone, you have giant ants bearing down the trail towards you. They are, of course, the size of small automobiles, and there are a half dozen of them.
All right, 6 small automobile-sized ants. Effects.
Yes.
So, I assume these ants are these carpenter ants? Are these soldier ants?
These are definitely soldier ants. You
Of
can
course
tell
they
from
are.
the stinger and mandibles, probably defending or attacking for some ant-like reason.
Mm-hmm. Which means we might be near a queen. But they're not a queen. Nobody's flying here, right? There's
No,
flying
none
here.
of these
No, right.
ants are flying.
All right. So I'm going to just show them who's boss. The first one that's bearing down on us,
That's his favorite thing to do.
I'm just going to run right at him and do like the Springbok do when they're fighting over mates. They just kind of like that. I'm going to run right at the lead ant and play a game of chicken. Ant
All
chicken.
right. All right, so
Cyborg ant chicken.
you are ramming an ant in a ramming competition with an ant. That is terrifying in its own way. That's going to be a fighting test. So what is your fighting? And keep in mind, this is an unarmed attack. So if you have any bonuses for fighting unarmed, this will apply to your fighting skill test.
Well, my fighting is a 12 plus 2. And you mean attributes that contribute or other skills?
You might have something like you might be a martial artist or a specialty unarmed fighter.
Funny you should say that. Because I have Brawler, so toughness is +1. Add a die 4 to unarmed damage.
That's definitely going to apply here. What does it list for you down in your weapons under unarmed?
It says strength D12 plus 3. Plus
Okay.
2 to hit and
Oh,
initiate
see.
attack.
+2, and you definitely have some martial arts skills. In fact, you are very talented at martial arts according to your character sheet. So that 5 is actually going to be a 7, which is most assuredly going to beat this ant's capability to parry. So that is going to hit, and you're going to deal a damage, which is your D12 from your strength that you have, which is D12 plus 2, right? Correct? On the strength?
Indeed, yes.
And in addition to that,
excuse me, D12 plus 3 is strength.
in addition to that, your unarmed damage from having Brawler and martial arts is another D6 on top of that. So let's see where we end up here. We're at 9, and then 2 more makes 11 damage dealt
That's
to
it?
this soldier ant on a charge. Yeah, that's not particularly high for you. You can generally do a whole lot more. And in the case of this being a soldier ant with a pretty sturdy shell protecting its outer body, the two of you impact and you stop its forward motion in the trail, but you don't think you actually hurt this ant.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, shit.
We've got Vector Raynes with the King of Hearts going next. Vector, your team leader, John Stone, charged these ants and stopped one of them in mid-stride, just ramming into it with his own physical body weight. How he managed to stop an ant the size of a small car from moving forward is, well, beyond you, but somehow he
I had high
stopped
hopes.
it.
He is an amazing specimen of a man.
Yeah, I feel
That
like
is true.
everybody like has a moment of like, oh okay, oh okay,
Sock'em robots.
because we've never really seen him in too much action at this point, and there's
Note to
definitely
self.
like a oh.
I need to stop pissing off John Stone. That's what I've learned. So, John
But
Stone,
what are you
should
going to
I
do, my friend?
He looks like he's attacking them, so I think I'm going to pull out one of my pistols, keep my drink in the other hand, and I'm going to fire at the one behind the one that he charged.
All right. So I'm going to need a shooting test for that. What is your shooting skill, Victor
My
Raynes?
shooting skill is a D10.
All right. Let's go ahead and give me a D10 and plus a D6 wild die, and let's see how well Victor Raynes does. Oh, man, an 8 is not only a hit, but a raise. So
Wow.
what is your raise damage with those incredibly dangerous high-tech pistols of yours, Victor Raynes?
I get a 3d8 plus 2d4.
Wow.
Whoa.
Those are nasty,
So,
nasty
Can I use
weapons.
a Benny to re-roll that?
You absolutely can use a Benny to re-roll that.
Let's go ahead and not do that. Yeah,
Benny
there we go.
use.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Woo!
that
Hey,
seems
hey.
to be the stuff.
That is an incredibly higher damage roll. In fact, that is so dang high that the ant in question is instantly atomized by your particle beam pistol. There's no ants
Like
left
that.
at all. That is impressive. All right, I believe next up on our initiative count would be Jonomox. Unless,
Rhonda,
of course,
are you ready? Yeah.
Rhonda can jump in at any time that she wants to.
So, so Rhonda's and Vector are still kind of by me at least, right?
Yeah, John charged ahead and seems to have slowed the column down or it stopped it headlong. I mean, he's
How many-
John Stone.
How many ants are there?
There are now 5. There were 6. One of them has been atomized by Victor Raynes.
Antomized?
Yes, atomized.
All right. I so look at the other two. I'm like, okay, I guess we're fighting the ants. Let's see. What do I got here? Oh, there. I have a knife. I have a knife. Am I going to fight the giant ants with this knife?
Is it an ant knife?
Oh, wait. I do have something I can do. I'm going to heroically turn into a pile of goo.
Ah, yes. I was thinking a pile of goo. Go ahead and give me your focus roll. What is your focus skill, gentlemen?
D8.
All right, a D8 and a D6 wild die to turn into a... Oh, whoa, that's not going to be so hot. You want to burn one of those bennies or accept that failure?
You know, I don't need to be goo.
All right.
I've got the combat effectiveness here of like an entire army platoon. I'm just gonna hang back.
All right, you're going to go ahead and let things slide. That means if Rhonda's not going to go immediately, the ants are going to start taking their actions. And
No, I
I'm-
think Rhonda. I think
Aha.
Rhonda's gonna go. I think Rhonda steps forward and Rhonda says, "Stop, Ranger approaching. Cease your fire, and no harm will come to you. Drop your weapons and come peacefully, or peace will be forced upon you."
I do what the lady says.
Seeing that makes no effect on ants,
None at all.
she's gotta say it before you can create violence. I want to use what's the thing where you can do something crazy?
Well, that is the rule of cool. We haven't gotten to using one of those yet. Everyone has to contribute on that one. Believe me, you'll see that happen today as someone has purchased one of those and it's in our store. It's definitely happening. But being as you already got the Joker, you can already try some pretty crazy things already with a decent chance of success. So what are you thinking of doing that's absolutely crazy, Ranger?
I think Rhonda's going to run at the closest ant, and she's going to try and get up on the ant's back, like bull rider style, and see if she can kind of get it wrestle it into submission, because she has always wanted an ant, a mount, a steed, if you will. So I think Rhonda's going to try and get up, maybe assert a little dominance and see if she can get the ant to bend to her will.
All right. Then, unlike anything we have ever seen on any of our dimensional hopping shows, someone is going to climb on board and attempt to mount one of the enemies.
We've never seen
That's
that
going to be
before.
an athletics test in your case, but remember, you get that +2 bonus for the Joker. And it's going to be opposed by the ant attempting to resist said restraint. So let's see what result we can get with that athletics +2. What is your athletics, by the way?
It's a D12.
Ooh, a D12 +2 and a wild die. Oh man, you can take a 7 or...
Reroll, baby.
All right, she's using one of those bennies for the reroll. Ooh, the 8 +2 makes it a 10. So that ant is going to attempt to roll against that 10 there. And so it's going to use, of course, its own physical capability to do so. And in the case of an ant, it does not get the wild die, but it does get a D8 to attempt to defeat your grapple. So let's see if the ant can do good with its D8. And D8, please. Athletics test from the ant. There we go. Here we go.
Heart. She needs a steed. Back on the farm.
I'm
She can
cheering
take
you
down
on
anything.
with my
All
knife.
right, discount the wild die on that one. Only the 6 applies, and the 6 does not beat the 10 that Rhonda got for her athletics test. So you are currently holding an ant mounted on it in close to a submission hold. So here we have an ant in submission. Because it is currently restrained, that ant is not going to have any real options for actions for itself for this round. But that does leave 4 other ants that are still going to act. One of them is in direct combat with John Stone and is going to attempt to grab him with its terrifying mandibles to crush him. So it's going to make a D6 fighting test to try and beat John Stone's parry score. So what do we get for the D6 fighting test for the ant?
Come on, Ant.
5. What is your parry, John
Ooh,
Stone?
it's 9.
Oh, you are just too good. Beating it by such a margin that you were able to grab these mandibles and physically stop the ant from crushing you between them. It is pretty impressive. 3 more of these ants are going to act. One of them is going to join its brethren in trying to bring you down, John Stone. And the other 2 are going to power past and go after Jonomox and Vector Raynes. So I'm going to do another D6 fighting test going against John Stone, please. A 4 is still not going to beat your parry. Another one's going to make a D6 fighting test against Vector Raynes. Also a 4. Is your parry a 4 or less, Vector Raynes?
It is not. It is a 5.
Ooh, so you are able to barely avoid the striking mandibles of this hand. And now before I can roll my attack against Jonomox, I believe he has first strike, if I'm not mistaken.
I do.
So
and
you get
and I have my knife out.
So you get to make a free attack with your knife before it attacks. So what is your fighting skill, Jonomox?
My fighting skill is D12.
And do you get a +1 with knives? Is that true?
I do get a +1 with knives. I am going to be making a called shot at the segment in between the head and the thorax there.
Ooh. All right. So we will. That 6 explodes. Uh-oh. So we're going to get a 9, and
9.
Subtracting 2 for the called shot will be a 7. Not enough for a raise, but it's still going to hit in a vital spot. So you're going to get to do your damage with an extra D6. So what kind of damage are we dealing to this ant?
Oh, I always have to scroll down for damage. There we go. Found it. It's strength, so it's D8 plus 2D6.
D8 plus 2D6.
No, D8 plus 1D6. Sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll discount that 6. That will only be 6. Do you want to take that or use one of your many accumulated bennies to re-roll that?
I should probably re-roll it.
All right. Using a benny to re-roll it.
Yes.
That is significantly better. An 11 in this case. Was it strength? Did you? They might have included another D6 because of the extra damage for the called shot. Did you include that when you were telling me the damage? Okay, so that 6 was real in this case. So we add 6 more to that, and that 6, of course, being a 6 means it explodes. So we add this new roll of 5 more to that. So we're looking at a total of 22 damage dealt with that knife attack. So before this ant can crush you with its mandibles, you in fact remove the head from the thorax, which drops to the ground at your feet, the mandibles closing shut on nothing but air as the ant is dead.
Guys, you are terrible at being tanks.
Agreed, right?
They went right past you.
That's going to mean another round of cards dealt for everyone as we go into the next round of initiative. Let's see what kind of great cards we can get for this round. Hopefully the ants can do better than getting a 3 this time and going absolutely last.
I'm praying that they don't.
Oh, yes. In fact, it looks like the tables have turned, and with the King of Diamonds, those ants are going to go first.
You don't have to look so giddy, James.
Hey, they're my ants, damn it.
All right. 10, is that right? I can barely see it. It's like there's something in my eye. It's so weird.
Yes, you have a 10 of clubs, I believe, there, Jonomox. We're going to start with the ant that is being restrained by Ranger Rhonda. It's going to make another attempt to break free. So we're going to start with that ant rolling a d8 to try and break free of its grappled condition. And with a 3, I don't think that it's going to be able to do so. And it, in fact, remains firmly in the clutches of Ranger Rhonda. 2 of those ants are going to make D6 fighting tests to again continue their assault against John Stone. 1 getting a 2 and the other getting a 3. Neither of those ants are able to land a blow. And
Neither
the last
of those are 9.
Yeah, the last one is going to go after Vector Raynes, still again getting another D6 fighting test. This time with a 5. I think that's your parry score, isn't it?
Parry.
Oh, man, it looks like you're going to be hit. Now, in the case of the giant soldier ant, when it hits you successfully with its mandibles, it gets a free attack with its stinger on you. Uh-oh. So we're going to roll another attack at a D6.
Hashtag Hackattack Jonomox is a very polite, gentle being. Decided to let the enemies go first.
All right, so we're going to make another D6 attack against Vector Raynes from the tail, or the stinger, which is not going to succeed, but the pincher is still going to inflict damage upon you. That bite is going to be a D4 plus a D12 plus 3.
Oh, goodness.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's going to be nasty. In this case, we are looking at 14 damage. It has no armor-piercing capability, so your armor will apply to your toughness. What is your toughness, Vector Raynes?
12.
So that's going to beat it by 2. That will be enough to produce a shaken result, unless, of course, you would like to spend a Benny to soak it.
I would like to spend a Benny to soak that.
All right, because it's only a shaken, you don't even have to roll. A Benny immediately removes the shaken condition, and Vector Raynes is not shaken at all.
Bugs.
Yes, the ants have again failed to do anything of any significance as we go to John Stone.
Okay, so when last we left John Stone, he just headbutted an ant. And so we're kind of still nose to nose, so to speak. So I'm going to try 2 attacks.
Absolutely.
Okay. So the first attack is this one that I've just headbutted, and I'm grabbing him by his mandibles, right?
Okay.
And I'm going to use my stun.
Using your stun capability. Very good.
It's attack 1.
All right. And then with the second action, what are you going to be doing with that?
The second one is contingent upon the success of the first one. If he's nice and stunned, I'm then going to twist and hip toss him, throwing him into the other ant.
All right, so we're first going to be needing a fighting test from you. This will be at a penalty of 2 for the multi-action penalty of doing 2 things. But because you're at +2 with unarmed attacks, this just means it's going to be your flat fighting roll, which is
12.
So a D12 and the D6 wild die. The 12 explodes. Oh, man. We're looking at 14. That is not only going to hit, but it's going to hit with a raise. And because you're doing the stun attack, that means that ant needs to make a vigor roll in order to not be stunned. And in the case of the ant, its vigor happens to be a D10. So it has a D10 to try and resist being stunned. A 7 would have succeeded, but you got yourself a raise with your stunning attack. And in fact, this poor ant is going to be stunned. Your follow-up action is involving throwing an ant at another ant. So this uses your athletics skill. What is your athletics skill, John Stone?
My athletics is 12 plus 3.
Ouch. So even with the penalty of 2, we're at a D12 plus 1 to throw an ant at another ant. And of course, the wild die, because that one is probably not going to be the one you take. Much better. A 5 will be enough to succeed at throwing an ant at another ant. And in this case, a thrown object is not going to deal any additional damage beyond your strength. How strong are you, John Stone?
Our strength is 12 plus 3.
All right, so if we can get a D12 plus 3 rolled, both ants will have to try and not die from that attack, as they both are beaten by each other's physical bodies. So D12 plus 3 for the damage, we're going to get 12. Oh, man. And while that's not enough to kill either ant, both ants become shaken as a result of that attack. And they might not be able to do anything on the next turn because of that. As you essentially stunned both ants, one of them is, of course, actually stunned in addition to being shaken. So he's just in a poor world of hurt. That guy is going to be having problems for a while. After you, it looks like from the cards that Jonomox is next with a 10.
But not until I turn to the group and I say, that's what I call ant-to-ant combat.
That joke's got legs.
6 of them.
All right, Jonomox, what do you got?
A knife, still.
Yes, this is true. You still have a knife.
One of which I'm going to use to coup de grace that stunned ant, and then pull out and throw at the other ant.
All right.
Shake it.
So we're going to with the 2 actions. So your fighting test will go first. That's going to be at a -2 because of the multi-action penalty. But
so
of course,
it'll be a -1 with the knife.
So you're going to be at a D12 -1. And the D6. And a 4 or a 4. Do you want to spend one of those valuable bennies and re-roll?
Yes, I do.
All right, spending a benny. Whoa, that 6 explodes. Uh-oh, that ant might be in trouble. All right, we are looking at a 9. -1 is an 8. That's not enough for a raise, but that first attack definitely is going to hit. So what kind of damage are we looking at again? I believe that was, what was it, a D8 and a D6 or a D12 and a D8 and a D6?
D8 and a
there we go. D8 and a D6. That 6 explodes. Uh-oh. And explodes again. And absolutely very much a coup de grace attack as the poor, vulnerable, stunned ant. Yeah. Actually, that would have been a raise because he was vulnerable for being stunned, but we don't need to roll an extra D6 because he was already very, very, very dead on that particular attack. And you have, in fact, killed another ant. Wow, that's
and now my second.
That's incredible. That is incredible. Second. Your second one is going to be athletics because you're throwing it. And again, you're going to be at a -1.
It's a D10.
All right, a D10 -1 coming in on the thrown attack. A 6 explodes. Wow. Still, the 9 dropped down to an 8 is a better result, which is a raise on a ranged attack. So you're going to get that extra D6 raise damage on this. So a D8 and a D6 and a D6 for the damage on that one. Jonomox just going to town there. Oh, one of those exploded again. Wow, Jonomox just laying down with the knives. And the other shaken ant is also killed by a thrown knife. That's Wow. Jonomox, I don't even know what to say. There is one ant remaining, thoroughly held in a restraining grip by Ranger Rhonda. And it happens to be your turn, Ranger. What do you have in mind?
Is she still trying to arrest it?
I'm not sure.
She's still just like, let me free you from the darkness. Is the ant? How is the ant reacting to this attempt to domesticate it?
It is struggling valiantly against you, but you had to grow up wrestling bigger brothers and sisters your whole life, and this ant has nothing on your siblings.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. At this point, I think Rhonda kind of looks her. This is the last ant, yeah?
Yeah, it is the last one.
And I think she realizes there's a mission that needs to be done. There is something. And so she sort of like whispers in the ant's ear, I never wanted this for you. And then goes to just give it a crack, like grabs one mandible and then tries to peacefully, because she doesn't want to see it atomized. She'd rather have it die by her own hands.
Fair enough. That is going to be a fighting test. But of course, your opponent happens to be restrained by you. So you're going to get a +2 bonus to this fighting test as you lay the pain down. So what is your fighting skill over there, Ranger?
It's a D12, baby.
So a D12 +2 for the fighting test from the Ranger. Do you want to take
tell
one
her
of
it
those,
doesn't have a neck to break?
Do you want to take that?
I think she could twist a head off. No, I'd love to re-roll.
All right, spending a Benny to re-roll. A little better there. That 7 is going to be enough that you are, in fact, going to do some unarmed damage. What kind of unarmed damage do you do, Ranger Rhonda?
I do a D10 plus a D6.
All right, a D10 plus a D6 coming from the Ranger to inflict harm upon this ant. That is going to be 10. You got enough, in fact, to produce a shaken result from that. You, in fact, are not able to fully wrench these mandibles around and break it, but you have definitely put the ant in severe distress. Perhaps it doesn't have the nerve endings to be in excruciating pain, but if this was a person, they would be, in fact, in excruciating pain.
She just didn't have the strength to go through it. Like, she didn't mean it enough. Like, she still was, like, kind of crying. Sorry. And now it's worse, and she's just, oh, no.
Yeah, you didn't have the heart to go through with it. Vector Raynes, there's one ant left, and Rhonda seems to be having a hard time coming to terms with bringing this ant down.
Rhonda, didn't you grow up on a farm? Because sometimes you just got to put animals
Maybe
down.
she tried to just twist its head off, but maybe she just hugged it.
She gave it a nice hug. Rhonda, it's okay.
I've had hugs that end this way sometimes.
What's the plan, Vector Raynes?
I'm just going to shoot it in the thorax where she's not at, so hopefully she's not.
Well, she still has it restrained, so you're going to get a +2 bonus to this shooting attempt. Okay. However, if either of your dice come up with a 1, you will in fact have hit Rhonda instead because of her close proximity to this individual ant.
I'm pretty sure she can take it.
But you do, of course, having luck and great luck and having bennies in the store, have a host of bennies to spend. So if you do get a 1, unless they both come up with a 1, you can re-roll. So what is that shooting test going to be?
Shooting test is a D10 plus 1.
All right, and an additional +2 bonus. On top of that, you're going to be getting an 8 from that 6-sided dice, which is enough for a raise once again. So with a raise, what do those terrifying pistols of yours do? So
it's a 3d8 plus 2d4. Plus, I'm actually an assassin, so I get +2 damage because...
You in fact do, and then another d6 for the raise. So we are looking at a total of 18 damage being inflicted. And Rhonda, you're now no longer gripping an ant, but simply on the ground. just went into pieces in your hand, disintegrating and leaving behind just atoms that flipped through your fingers.
You just hear this, Ranger Rhonda, I don't feel so good.
I know. It's exactly what I was just thinking.
She's
Miss
just like,
Rittenhauer?
Miss Rittenhauer, I don't feel so good. She's just holding dust. She gets up, shakes it off. Okay, I'm ready to go. We need to save this island. I'm fine.
Oh, that wasn't everything? I thought, giant ants taken care of. Unless we run into some, huge hamsters, I'd say this island is clean. Let's go home.
Yeah, that's a bunch of very, very dead ants. Some of them completely atomized by the terrible weapons used by Vector Raynes.
So,
Where did you even get those guns, man?
Yeah.
It's a secret.
What if you shoot one of those on the ship? Does the hull disappear? That's so fucked up.
That's why I keep them holstered.
So
on the ship.
I'm kind of pissed at Vector because his scouting was so flamboyant that he just attracted them to us. So I go over to Vector and I grab him around the neck and I tell him, Vector, I don't care who you are back in the world. Give away our position one more time. I'll bleed you. Real quiet. Leave it here. Got it?
What was that?
Rhonda just comes around Vector's other shoulder and goes, he headbutted an ant. I wouldn't mess with him.
One more
And
time.
then I go to his other ear. At least not like that. I have access to magnets and I can make myself into liquid and he's made of metal. We could just do wonders to those joints.
Not
I know we're
iron-based
all
metal, idiot.
standing, all four of us are
What?
standing way too close to each other in the middle of a path.
If everyone's
You
right
realize
there,
you
I'm
hear
just gonna
like
group
everything,
hug.
right?
The magnets aren't for the metal, they're for the computer that take up about 40% of your brain.
And while you're whispering this,
I've been thinking about this a lot.
you realize I can hear ants breathing, right?
Why
Well,
didn't you
not
hear them
anymore,
coming?
you can't. We squished them all.
Not all of them, just the ones that attacked us. Okay, so look, we got rid of those ants, but there's stuff on here that they've gotten a hold of. Not the ants, but some bad people. They're going to try to set off a bomb here on this island. That's the
Wait.
rest of the story.
Why is there a
And by
bomb?
bomb, I mean a gigantic
Why
bomb.
didn't you start with that? That there's a bomb.
You
gonna
should
go
have.
off?
You should have opened up
Yeah,
with the bomb,
that's a good to know thing, John Stone.
right?
Well, some people, like you, Vector, don't know how to get your head in the game. Gotta start you
Oh.
off small just to make sure that you know what's going on from
Did
the
you
start.
take out any ants?
I can't believe
Yeah,
you wore
too.
your beach clothes.
You're just jealous. You only get prison clothes.
You go right to hell.
Rhonda's making
Ranger
a
Rhonda.
pile of the dust and just doing taps. Do, do, do.
I would definitely like to turn into wind now and blow it all away. You want to give me the D8 roll on that? Because I have to do it at this point.
All right, let's go ahead and do that D8 focus roll for Jonomox as he is going to turn to wind and blow away the dust from the atomized ant in the middle of Ranger Rhonda's taps ceremony there.
I didn't do so good. I'm not
Don't
having
you
a good
dare
shake.
use a penny.
Oh, man.
I
Oh, man.
won't.
Hashtag hack attack jet your head in game. What team?
You are having a hard time keeping that focus, Jonomox, and shifting your form.
Yeah, everybody in the group just is gonna think I'm a fake shape changer at this point. Like, I just say I'm gonna do stuff, but they never actually see me change into anything.
When you fail
So-
at a gaseous change, do you just like fart a little bit? Is it just like and then it doesn't happen?
Yeah, I guess
Everybody's
that's
like-
exactly what happens. I might as well make a fart noise every
And
time
when-
I fail at something.
Like
when
just
you
a
fail the-
furrowed brow.
And when you fail change liquid, you just pee on yourself.
Oh, no.
Yep, it's all it all involves bodily functions now. That's great. I think we should definitely make that canon.
So I go over to Ranger Riddenauer and I say, Ranger Riddenauer,
Yes, sir.
well, I appreciate your respect for the dead.
Yes, sir.
It was a damn ant. So pull your head out and let's get moving, all right?
Yes, sir.
You make your way further and further into the jungle, following the direction of John Stone's locked-on signal. During your travel, you receive the notification, though no communication from Pierce, that your connection to the Reliance's AI has been restored.
So why did you have to go offline? What was that? Like, did the ship need to go offline? Explain this to me.
I'm
Pierce
assuming
just-
you're using the comms to talk to Pierce. Is that who you're reaching out to there?
I'm
Jonomox?
asking John Stone. I'm allowed
Okay.
to talk to John Stone.
Yeah.
All right.
Pierce said he had to take it offline. I didn't matter to me as long as there wasn't a problem with it.
But I mean, you know that guy is super shady, right?
I mean,
You know,
haven't
this
you?
expression where I come from. It's about a pot calling a kettle black.
Oh, see, now where I come from, they don't see color.
Yeah. Well, I see all the colors. Cyborg.
I'm just saying we can smell our own, and that guy is super shady.
Well, right now we don't have much of a choice but to continue with the mission. So if you get any other premonitions, you let me know, all right?
It's not a premonition. It's just experience talking. Like, that guy is a smuggler. Hey,
Take it under
If he needs
advisement.
to, if he needs, he doesn't need to go offline to do repairs. That's not a thing.
Haven't you ever heard of, turning it off and on again? I mean, it's just
Yeah,
it seems to
he's
be
got-
pretty standard across every verse. So
I'm just saying, you got treated like a cop just now.
Ooh.
Okay, I don't know what you mean by that.
I mean,
I
he just
don't know.
he just
No.
totally is. He's playing you. Why would he take you offline unless he's doing something to the ship? He's probably putting booby traps in there, some way to
No.
space us all as soon as we get aboard.
Who would steal that
He
ship? That
really
ship
doesn't
is
like Rhonda.
Oh, that's fair.
Well, here's
yeah.
here's the thing,
Wait,
Mux.
what?
I
Wait,
love you,
what?
Rhonda. You're great.
He
doesn't-
also
Did he
he
tell you?
also answers to the Council of Peers. So whatever's going down, he's being watched as well.
I think he only answers to the Council of Peers.
Oh, homophone. Okay. Okay.
Mm.
Anyway, we have a bomb to find. So
That
we'll
is
do
true.
Now.
You make your way deeper into the jungle and begin going uphill towards the base of this massive volcano. Eventually coming along beside a stream. You would almost call it a river. It's nearly wide enough, running fairly swiftly down the bank. There seems to be a lot of traffic near this stream of where megafauna, as Jonomox aptly described it, comes to get water. And perhaps these ants and other creatures like it do the same. And I'm going to need notice checks from everyone to see if you detect your ambushers before they strike. So let's go through one by one and make some notice checks. I
Now
would
we
like-
know there are ambushers. I mean, I'm just gonna...
Yeah, that's right. We're going to start with John Stone's notice check. So what do you have for notice, John Stone?
12 plus 1.
12 plus 1, and a plus 2
And-
against anything auditory, I believe.
Yep.
Well, plus a notice roll at a plus 2 to sense ambushes or similar events.
Oh, yes, and this is an ambush, so that's going to be a 13. You are definitely going to succeed on this roll to detect an ambush, so you're going to get dealt a card in this first round. Let's see how well Jonomox does on his notice test. What do you got, Jonomox?
I have a D10 plus 2.
All right, a D10 plus 2. We're going to get 7. Also need a wild die on that one, the D6 as well, so we skipped that for John, but so a 7, unfortunately, not enough to get a raise, so you are not going to get dealt in on this first round, unless, of course, you'd like to spend a Benny to re-roll that notice test.
No, I got one left, and I'm gonna save it to hurt something.
All right, fair. There are also 2 in the store that any member of the cast can use because, well, chat bought them for you because they like you. All right, Vector Raynes, what is your notice test?
I've got a D6.
All right, a D6 and a D6 wild die from Vector Raynes with a 3 and a 1.
We're going to be using a Benny on that.
All right, pulling a Benny. Benny's being used.
Oh, and we all got one from when the Joker got pulled.
Yep, that was true. So you actually still have 2 there, Jonomox. That's a 4 and a 2. That would be enough for a normal test, but unfortunately it's not enough to get a raise. So you're also not going to get a card on this one.
Okay.
How about Ranger Rhonda? What is your notice?
D4, baby.
Oh, big D4 and the D6. Oh. I'm waiting.
I hear nothing.
All right.
I feel like something cool. Yeah, Rhonda's still got like dust in her eye. She's still kinda...
that's not going to succeed. Because I couldn't hear the computer voice in this one, I do see it, so I'm going to read it. I see we're full of antics, clicking well, and have ant-annihilated a bunch of giant ants. I see the Reliance runs Windows. Oh.
I see we're full of antics clicking well and have ant-annihilated a bunch of giant ants. I see that the Reliance runs Windows. Restarting the app failed, so reboot the system. Nice of the princess to invite us over a picnic. #hack attack.
Oh, moving closer on that hack attack. Uh-oh, guys. Okay, so it looks like that only John Stone and the ambushing enemies are going to be dealt in for the first round of cards. So if I can get 1 card to John Stone and 1 card to the GM, we're going to start this ambush. Oh, I see those cards. We're looking at a king for John Stone. So, John, you're going to get to act before these ambushers strike, concealed among the brush right alongside this stream you're traveling up. You're surprised you're the only one that saw them. Are lizards well over 20 feet in length, though their bodies have shifted coloration.
Lizards. I thought you said wizards. I'm like,
Yes.
"Ooh."
Wizards. Though you might more be apt to call them dinosaurs or something similar, as these things look very dangerous and carnivorous. They're well over 20 feet in length, but they seem to have shifted their skin patterns to match the jungle terrain around them, which was why they were so hard to see. But then again, they are immense. So the fact that you are the only one that saw them might be somewhat bothersome. There are 2 of these very large, very dangerous looking creatures, and you are the only person that is going to get to act besides them in this opening round. What do you do?
Moving us closer to the #hack attack.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, so close.
Yeah, wow.
So
Chat
before
really
I act,
wants that hack attack.
before I act, I call Jonomox over and I say, "Look, over there in those trees." He doesn't see anything.
Yes!
So
I would
then-
love to give you bonuses just for Predator references, but
You're one ugly mother.
so what do we got from you, John Stone?
So you said there's 20 lizards up in the trees?
2. There are 2,
Oh,
and they
2.
are very, very big creatures, well over 20 feet long.
How high up in the trees?
They are more in between them. They're like on the banks, on the ground itself. They're not physically up in the trees, though their shoulders definitely reach the height of lower branches.
Whoa.
They are really
These
big. Yeah, these are really, really big. You would be more apt in calling them, dinosaurs perhaps than just lizards.
So are they all on all fours? Or
Yeah, they are on all fours.
Okay.
Lots of sharp teeth.
Fantastic. I'm gonna try 2 things.
Oh, yes.
Let me see.
What do we got, John?
Didn't catch that?
That's
Okay.
a neat ability. Remember?
I have no idea what that is. You're going to have to
It's
explain
called
that.
sublingual strategizing. Humans don't know how to do that. It's a cyborg thing.
Hashtag hack attack and finish. Support
Oh,
our
boy.
troopers. Now all the Axis and allied soldiers on the island are now creatures distinctly and oddly reminiscent of Cooper Troopers.
Now, I am not lying. I'm glad he said that because I'm not lying. This is what I was about to do.
Well, let's hear this.
That's why I was trying to think, is this 2 moves, 2 actions, or is it 3 actions?
You tell me what you're going to try and do, and I'll let you know.
So I was going to run and springboard off of one of the trees, bounce onto the head of one of them, flip, and bounce onto the head of the second one. No lie, that was the joke. That was what I was going to do. So when he said Cooper Troopers, I'm like, well, hey, let's go full Mario then.
We're going to make that easy and just make that 2 actions. They're both going to be fighting tests. But before you do that, just for fun, I'm going to on the fly have you do an athletics test to see how well that jump is. All of these, of course, are going to take that 2-point multi-action penalty. So what's your athletics test?
Well, the only reason I was going to try this is because my athletics is 12 plus 3.
All right, so even with the penalty of 2, it's going to be a D12 plus 1 and the D6 wild die. Yeah, the 10 on that athletics test is more than enough to get you a tremendous amount of height, speed, and force behind your fighting attacks. So your first one, what's your fighting die that you got to roll there, John Stone? And being this is an unarmed attack, you are at a +2 with unarmed attacks, which is canceled out by that 2-point penalty. So what is your fighting die?
My fighting is 12 plus 2.
So
But
you
also I
still...
have- yeah, but also I have martial warrior unarmed fighting is a +2.
Yep, so that cancels out the 2-point penalty, so you get to keep that D12 plus 2 for both of these attacks. The first one being a 12, that is definitely going to succeed with the raise, and the second one is going to be also a 12. So with a powerful leap, you are able to hit both of these lizards in the head. We're going to make damage rolls for those. Those are, what is your strength die that you have there, Johnstone?
My strength is 12 plus 3. But here's a question, though. Since
Yes.
I'm landing on them, wouldn't it kind of depend on my weight, even though we don't have an actual, way to measure that?
Well, what we're going to do is in the case of this is those are both raises, and we're going to give them an additional damage dice raise because of your athletics and weight behind those. So you're going to be looking at a D12 plus a D8 plus 2D6 damage to on both of these lizards, and of course +3 at the end of all of that. So we're looking at 22 on the first one. Yeah, we'll get 30 damage, or excuse me, 32 on the first one, and then one more roll of that, please.
Take one. Oh.
And, wow, those are 2 big nasty ones. What I want to do is, because they've bought me these bennies, I'm going to spend a benny for each of them to try and soak some of that damage so that, that it isn't over instantaneously.
32 and 33 damage.
Yep. Go ahead and keep those numbers in your head for me, Jonomox, as we go ahead and roll the vigor test for that. So we're going to do D12 plus 2 for the individual vigor tests for each of them. So I can get a D12 plus 2 for the first one. That's going to be a 6. Okay, I see how it is. And then the second one, that explodes. Altogether, we're looking at a 19 on that one. That, only reduces it down to 14 damage that actually goes through. So despite the use of a Benny on both counts there, this fight is over before it can even begin as John Stone, Mario jumps and crushes the heads of 2 giant lizards that his allies have not even seen.
Okay, is that a viable combat style where you come from? Because I have never seen that shit before.
I like that at some point Rhonda just turns around and now can see 2 dead lizards with their skulls caved in. And it's just like, what? I'm sorry, what just happened? What happened?
And I go to Vector Raynes and said, "Pay attention, Raynes.
Yeah.
What's going on?
You're supposed to be scouting."
What
How'd you
happened,
just
Rhonda?
get us
Rhonda?
Together.
ambush?
We're following you. You have the tracker.
Man, what if those were the guys that had like the cheese plates for us?
Oh.
That doesn't seem right, though. So, Rhonda, what happened was
Yeah.
John Stone, he came up to me real quiet, like, and said some cold-ass shit. And then he jumped 30 feet in the air and smashed 2 lizards. And now here we are.
Why are we here when you could smash lizards and headbutt ants?
Yeah, like, do you need us?
Yeah, are we required for these missions?
Hey, you
I
never
know
know what we're gonna run into, all right?
I
Always
feel
be
like-
prepared.
You can also learn. Now let's go.
Okay.
And so you begin making your way further up this trail. The sounds of gunfire are drawing nearer. You are getting close to wherever conflict is taking place. At which point, John Stone, you receive an automated notification from the Reliance AI. The Reliance will be departing this dimension in 1 hour and 40 minutes.
Roger that. All right, troops. It just got real. We have 1 hour and 40 minutes to get this thing done and back to your alliance because it's going to bounce out of this dimension.
Why won't they wait for us? Tell Pierce to wait for us.
I don't know what's going on. Maybe he's got some higher calling from the council. I just know we have to move fast, all right? So let's go.
Quickly disarm a nuclear bomb. Got it.
Should be easy, right? And so you progress further and further, getting closer and closer to the sounds of this violence. And then eventually, following this river, you reach a large, flat area of land that looks like it was only cleared out maybe a year or two ago, but has since begun to recover with vegetation coming back. There are several metallic block-like structures that are partially overgrown by this, and a single partially wrecked large structure that rests at the center of this clearing. 2 groups of what would have been soldiers are in conflict here. However, in the case of this, it's uniformed individuals in very distinct different military uniforms, which have shells on their back, and they have turtle-like heads and reptilian arms and legs. But they're firing, modern firearms from
The Gorn?
1942. Yeah, something has definitely happened here
That
among
is
these
not right.
individuals. John, you recognize from your knowledge of history that the attacking group on the exterior of the plateau area, going after the central structure, are in Japanese military uniforms, whereas those that are defending the central structure are in American military uniforms. However, both forces are composed entirely of these strange, shell-backed, turtle-like headed creatures.
This doesn't seem right, guys.
This
It
is
definitely
100%
seems
wrong.
Yes. It seems that the larger group, which is attacking and wearing the Japanese uniforms, is using the other structures for cover. The signal that you are tracking seems to be coming from that central structure that the American turtle soldiers are defending. And as you enter the clearing, you hear a tremendous bellow from the far side of it, where a large cave opening is in the side of the volcano.
Now we're going there, right?
And from within that cave opening strides out an immense gorilla, well over 50 feet tall.
I'm not
Is
going in
he
there, though.
carrying a barrel of any kind?
He is not.
Okay, just
How about a blonde?
Not the case either. And with a roar of fury, it begins to also bound towards that central piece of wreckage. The exact piece of wreckage that the signal you're tracking is coming from. Whatever is going to set off that bomb is within that structure, past these attacking soldiers, through the ones defending it, and now apparently a giant gorilla has gotten involved in this as well.
So, hanging back a second, I'm trying to connect to Pierce and find out why in the world is the ship leaving, and number 2, why are these people turtles?
Good questions. The AI is able to respond to one of those. Captain Pierce is no longer aboard the Reliance.
Oh, shit.
Okay, where is Captain Pierce?
Captain Pierce is no longer aboard the Reliance.
Oh, no.
Okay. Who is aboard the Reliance?
Paul and Princess Hedgehog are in the lab. They are currently locked inside.
They're locked in the lab.
Who's locked in the lab?
Captain Pierce initiated lockdown override.
Is that dimensional jump still in effect for
Dimensional
an hour and
jump
20
in
minutes?
1 hour and 32 minutes.
Override.
Override not recognized.
Override by authority of John Stone. Override.
John Stone override authority disabled.
Okay. So, team, we do have a problem, but we still need to get rid of this situation here so that they don't get a hold of this bomb and kill everybody on the planet.
All right, so we just have to fight our way through a bunch of video game characters dressed like World War II soldiers, and that's King Kong, right? Anyone?
I think for copyright reasons, maybe the radioactive materials inside our thermonuclear bomb has caused, I don't know, mutations on this island?
Yep. It makes all the animals really big. What's with the soldiers that are video game characters? I'm going to put on a pair of overalls and go start plumbing these guys.
So John Stone, what do you suggest is our main objective?
Well, I suggest that you start jumping on all of their heads, and then this will all be over, right?
I don't think that's an effective battle strategy,
Did you
Jonomox.
not-
Yeah, I
see the
didn't think
lizards?
so either, but 20 minutes ago taught me something different.
Are the soldiers fighting the gorilla?
They have not had a chance to yet, but they are beginning to engage the giant gorilla. Most of them seem to be terrified of the giant gorilla, though.
Are they
That's-
engaging in guerrilla warfare?
They, in fact, are very much engaging in guerrilla warfare, or in this case, it might be anti-guerrilla warfare.
Y'all
All
are
right.
terrible.
So, I don't see a bomb, but did somebody put a bomb in that ship? Because if that bomb goes off in that ship, everybody dies.
I'm going to say also gunfire and a large gorilla could possibly set off a bomb before we get to it.
I think
Aside from the strange creatures, it is very clear that these metallic structures do not really match the technology or of this timeline or place at all. They are far too advanced, and Jonomox in particular, you very much recognize the technology used
this
here.
is that Trinity stuff, right?
Yeah, in fact, like looking at the center, the ruined structure looks like at one point it was one of their gateway bases that they used to invade dimensions.
Jonomox, fill the crew in.
Yeah, you got it, boss. That gate is going to be our biggest problem, because if there is a bomb or if they're trying to mess with the core in any way, that is going to create, I'm guessing, right around 150 megatons of force.
Just
That'll
over 100.
That'll boil the oceans around here, kill all life on this planet for sure. But because it's attached to one of these dimensional gates, depending on how operational it is, that could spill over.
So let's go stop this bomb. Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it's less a bomb and more of a... I mean, I guess it's a bomb. It's a bomb, yeah. Ticking time bomb, really. We should go.
So
we don't have time to fight all these guys.
Before we deal out cards, I'm going to remind you folks that we have a rule of cool in the store. So while you're dealing with the threats of warring, modified, mutated, strangely turned into turtle people soldiers, a giant gorilla, and a potential thermonuclear weapon within the wreckage, we're going to start this encounter out with a rule of cool. So we're going to deal out the cards, and some of them to you, our rule of cool is new. So in the case of a rule of cool, rather than each person acting on their initiative card, the person who gets the worst initiative card among the players needs to come up with their wild, crazy, cinematic, anything goes plan. And then each person will in turn come up with their wild, crazy, cinematic, anything goes plan. Once you have all done so, chat is going to vote on which one they like best. And that person is automatically going to succeed at their crazy plan with a critical success. Everyone else is still going to have to attempt at their crazy wild plan at an additional -2 penalty. So let's deal out the cards and see who has to come up with the wild, crazy plan first. Ignore my card as these turns over because I don't get to participate in the rule of cool. That just wouldn't be fair.
But the gorilla does.
No, the gorilla does not. So it looks like that John Stone is going to have to come up with his crazy plan of what he wants to accomplish in this turn. Physics be damned. Do anything.
With a 6?
Well, you just got to come up with your plan first,
Okay.
and then chat's going to vote on it.
Okay, the stuff we're looking at, that stuff that he described, that's the bomb?
Within that central structure is whatever they're messing with that could result in a bomb going off, yes. But between you and it are fighting strange soldiers and now a giant gorilla.
Okay, so here's what I do. The gorilla in the midst of the fighting turtle men?
Yes, the gorilla's in the midst.
Okay, gorilla in the midst. So here's what I do. I go and I grab Ranger Rhonda. And I throw her up in the air. Because the gorilla's going to be like, "Ooh, pretty lady." He's going to grab her and look at her and stroke her hair and be distracted by holding Rhonda in his hand. So at the same time, I'm going to just make a beeline straight for the structure, using my internal technology to emit a loud, high-pitched screeching noise that will make all the turtle men kind of cower and cover their ears or whatever they have for ears. And as I get to the core of the middle of that technological bomb structure, I alter my signal to turn into an electromagnetic pulse and shut it down with a big EMP blast. Which, of course, I'm shielded from because I'm John Stone. I'm not, come on.
Now, that 100% meets the qualifications of a wild and crazy plan that pretty much has no chance of success unless they vote on you. So that 100% fits the mold of rule of cool. Now, of course, after that, I believe that Ranger Rhonda has to tell us what she would do if physics be damned, you could accomplish anything. What would you try to do in this terrible and tragic situation?
In this terrible and tragic situation. Okay, I would run out and I would yell as loud as I could, Koopa's coming! And then that would make all of the troops scatter. And anybody who didn't scatter, I'd say, the princess is in another castle! And then that would be like everybody else. So like one side would go and then like the other side would go. And then, yeah, I think I'm going to just take a running... So one side of the clearing, run, put one foot on the structure, launch myself at the face of the gorilla with the impact maul out, and just go straight up its nose and into its brain, killing it instantly. An eyeball would seem more direct, but no, the nose.
Indeed.
All right. That is pretty dang intense. Wow. Okay, so who was next on those initiative counts? I believe that it was Jonomox who had to come up with a plan next. Yeah, with the 10. Jonomox?
Yes, I need a plan, obviously. Clearly I need to use my shape-changing abilities. Because those have been really doing well for me today.
Okay.
But since it's rule of cool, I'm going for broke here. So I'm going to get down into like a 3-point position, looking straight towards that center where I'm going, looking at every obstacle in my way, kind of changing my like legs to bend the other way so I can get more speed on, like a cheetah.
Okay.
I'm also shape-changing a pair of red overalls and a little M cap on my head.
Okay.
And I'm going full parkour, Troopa hopping, bonk, 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 all the way to the end. And then when I get to where the structure is, instead of trying to find a panel and ripping it open, I'm going to, even changing into gas, which would also be possible, I'm just going to find a plumbing hole and go down that in liquid form. While it makes that sound, I'm going to collect whatever coins are at the bottom and work my way to the core.
I like that. Vector Raynes, you've got some tough ones to follow here for your wild and crazy plan. What do you have in mind?
Okay, so
of course I'm going to yell parkour. Duh.
First thing, I would ask Jonomox to cloud and shape changing into a cloud, and I would gather the other two, and I'd say, "All right, we could do this." And I would have us run and see if Jonomox could help lift us up. So as we jumped off the turtle backs, we would like John Woo style cloud walk. So I'd pull out both my pistols and I'd get ready to shoot the gorilla in the chest. I would have Rhonda with her hammer have John Stone jump on it. She swings it really high and launches John Stone like 50 feet into the air. So he's flying in the air. I'm shooting the monkey in the chest. Rhonda takes the follow through of the hammer, smashes it in the face because I shot out its knees so it falls to the ground. So she smashes its head in. As John Stone comes down, he lands Superman style on top of the structure and releases an EMP blast from his fist. So it releases a shockwave and shorts out all the systems in there.
Ooh.
And then he goes up to the evil general, rips the star off his collar, and the music starts playing.
Yeah. And then Jonomox coalesces around us and is like, "We got this."
That is an ambitious rule of cool attempt there. And now, of course,
that's an opening credits shot.
it kind of is. And now it's up to you, chat. It's for you to vote and to decide which one of these crazy plans is going to automatically work and who is just going to have to try to do this anyway. And you can watch as they miserably fail.
Yeah, that's because that's pretty much what's going to happen. Everybody is going to miserably fail, except
I like
for...
that. I think I'd have to roll persuasion on mine, and I have a D4 for persuasion.
It's going to be great.
You got this. Did you let the gorilla know? Yeah, did you let the gorilla know you were going to arrest it first?
I'm yelling it as I'm coming at it.
As you're coming at it with the giant rocket hammer.
As long as she can get the whole thing out first.
So, chat, while you're voting on this, I want you to keep in mind that my plan includes throwing Rhonda up into the gorilla's hands. Do you get this? Do you get this?
I feel like, do I get to make a follow-up move, or do I just have to be there, like, groped by a gorilla until the bomb gets dismantled? And then
depending on how you're feeling. I mean, maybe you're kind of digging it. Maybe
she's falling in love with Stranger Things, I'm sure. She does care for animals.
And this is why rules of cool are awesome.
Maybe you're kind of, ooh, you're so big and strong. I don't know.
She just suddenly has like a white, like bias cut silk dress on. Like, where'd my armor go?
You've been damseled.
I know. Just damseled.
You get totally damseled.
What? I like the idea of us all like I can see the shot. It's like the front shot of like John Stone going up, you coming under with the pistol, like that.
I was like this close to turning into a giant girl gorilla with a little dress on and trying to seduce it. Like I was this close.
Distraction.
Oh.
Next rule of cool, no matter what we do, I'm absolutely turning into a female gorilla. Doesn't even matter the situation.
You're infiltrating this high society banquet.
Pull the Bugs Bunny.
Man, that's all I ever want to do in Rules of Cool is just pull a Bugs Bunny.
He's not lying.
That's all I want to do.
And while
I believe that the polls are closing soon, guys, and we'll see what happens when chat has finished their vote.
I'm so excited.
I think that they're conspiring to try and get a tie going on because they've discovered that in the case of a tie, both things happen.
Oh man!
So once I've thrown Rhonda up into his hands, she has no idea how to be a damsel. So she's just like, so I got this badge for bravery, and I got this one for not dying.
Oh
Do
man!
you like guns?
It looks like that. We do have Vector and John Stone both succeeding.
Awesome.
So, how this occurs is going to be pretty difficult, as some of these things are contrary to each other. So you're going to have to bear with me as I attempt to defy physics and explain what happens. But before that, I still need both Jonomox and Ranger Rhonda to attempt their death-defying plans. And I'm going to start with you, Ranger Rhonda, because you have the lower initiative score. So for your Koopa is definitely going to go along the lines of intimidation. So what is your intimidate skill?
My intimidate. Do I even have intimidate?
I don't think you do.
I don't.
Okay, so that means it's
percentage?
inherently already a D4 -2, and with the 4-point multi-action penalty, that makes it D4 -6, and then the 2-point rule of cool, you didn't get the winning vote, means you're going to be at a D4 -8 on the intimidation check. But you get your wild die still.
You
So let's
do
see
it.
a D4 and a D6, both of them that have been and with a critical failure. With a critical failure, you become so tongue-tied that you are automatically going to fail your following persuasion test to try and tell the others that the princess is in another castle. It's just flat out going to fail. You find yourself unable to talk at all. Words just come out garbled together. This whole situation is just too extreme for you. You don't even know how to deal with it. Maybe it's the trauma from dead ants and dead lizards. It's just, things are just not going your way today. You are, however, still going to have to attempt. You're still going to have to attempt the hammer blow part, which at least you get a fighting test result for this one, but you're still going to be at a fighting test is going to be at a -6. So
I don't have to do an
critical fail.
athletics.
Yeah, doesn't the critical fail mean she lose all her other stuff too? Like she doesn't have to make the other roll because she automatically is going to fail because she doesn't get to do it now?
No, she's still going to have to roll, but her chances have dropped to even astronomically lower. So we can get that. What's your fighting test, Rhonda?
Fighting test is a D12.
All right, so let's roll that D12.
Minus.
Whoa!
It did explode, so it's not absolutely horrible.
Oh my
Even
God.
with the 6-point penalties for that and an additional penalty for getting the critical failure, you are still somehow going to manage to hit this giant gorilla in the nose. It's almost like you fumbled your hammer into its nose as opposed to you purposefully swung. Maybe it was the handle that went up the nose and not even the head. We'll work that out as we get further in, as I am, of course, trying to do the impossible and script an impossible moment.
Like it's
Jonomox.
just stuck, and she's trying to get the handle.
I have 2 shape change rolls and an athletics test to make.
Yep, that's right. And you're going to have the multi-action penalty of 4 and a rule of cool penalty of 2. So you're going to be at -6 to all of these tests. I believe you're at D8 and D6 for your shape changing.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get 2 of those in. That's not going to work. Give me one more.
Nope.
Same dice rules. Nope, those aren't going to work.
No. That 6 might go.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, so one of these, you are in fact going to pull off that liquid part. So let's hang on to a nose hit and liquid Jonomox for further information. And I'm going to need that athletics roll, which is also at the -6. What's your athletics, Jonomox?
10.
All right, a D10 and a D6 with the -6. That's not going to work, but we do have 2 parts which have succeeded in that wild and crazy plan. Now, how I add all this together, I'm not really sure, so you're just going to have to bear with me while I attempt to script together the impossible. So somehow, against your very wishes and without your even consent upon things, you change into a cloud, Jonomox. Into an actual cloud. While you have changed into a cloud, John Stone has grabbed and thrown Ranger Rhonda through the air. Both of these things occurring simultaneously. As that is happening, Vector Raynes has jumped into the air, propelled himself off your cloud while shooting at these not Koopa Troopas with his particle beam pistols. Somehow, in the midst of all of this, I'm trying here, guys. I'm trying.
Physics be damned. Physics
be damned.
Logic be damned.
John Stone has, after throwing Rhonda, leaped through the air while simultaneously rushing towards the structure, releasing a loud screeching noise, which is somehow stunning every single one of these not Koopa Troopers, and gets into the Superman-type landing pose. While he's coming down from that, Rhonda has not only shoved the handle of her hammer up the nose of this creature, but hit this creature and been a damsel in distress all at once, being held in its hand while it has distracted it. You know, giving her that perfect shot to its nose as it smiles lovingly at her, being pulled up into its huge hands.
Yeah, she went
Which
in
is
for the
what
kiss.
love is like.
Yeah,
John
she was
Stone
like, give me a kiss.
Releases this EMP blast while simultaneously Vector Raynes changes into liquid and goes down through the plumbing piping of this structure. Or, sorry, not Vector Raynes, Jonomox.
Yes.
I'm
Yes,
trying
I
to keep
do.
up here. There's a lot going on.
My thing
Liquid
failed,
Jonomox.
so
The liquid part succeeded, so you did get the liquid part. It turns into liquid going down here, which helps to channel this EMP that John Stone releases in his Superman punch type landing, disabling the bomb. Koopa Troopas, who are not Koopa Troopers, stunned and shocked, and the giant gorilla having its nose picked and its face smashed by a woman he instantly fell in love with when it landed in his hands.
Which is how love works, by the way, on you kids out there.
Love hurts.
Apparently,
girls like getting hit in the nose.
12
That's what
hurts,
my dad told me.
really, really bad. Now, in the sense of not animal cruelty, none of these things actually kill the giant gorilla, but it does, however, retreat back to its cave to nurse its horribly, horribly broken heart at being rejected so unceremoniously by Ranger Rhonda.
Oh, she feels bad.
and that's why you're not supposed to include other actors in the rule of cool.
Lesson learned.
Yeah, it's not supposed to have a menage a cool, just a regular.
Yeah,
Hey,
that was
that was
absolutely
pretty
terrifying to have to deal with.
Round of applause for James on that one. No.
Yay!
Please don't ever do that to me again, Vector Raynes.
The rules say he can't do that again, so
Yeah,
that was a one-time deal.
you get your one. Next time, only you. Unless, you're throwing someone.
Or talking about it with them ahead of time.
But that still was, I'm going to agree with Chad on that one. A menage a cool.
Yeah, very much so.
That was the menage a cool. But you seem to have accomplished your mission, and your adversaries for the area have either retreated, been shot, been jumped upon,
Or are laying eggs on the beach as we speak.
or are stunned by the screeching noises, or in fact, yes, are laying eggs on the beach because they've been turned into not Koopa Troopers. And of course, that will have no long-term repercussions on this alternate Earth.
That's why hack attacks don't last generally. I'm
Let's
sure
hope
this
they
place-
get to change back into normal before too long.
Fingers crossed.
Either that or like the army's going to show up after the fact. They're going to be like, okay, who dressed up all these turtles like soldiers? That's twisted.
Yeah, something's wrong with you people.
Our men have all been killed.
And with the clock ticking down, it is headed back to the Reliance through the jungle, which seems to have gone itself into hiding from the death and destruction that has been delivered upon it. As you return to Reliance, it is sitting now uncloaked on the beach.
Is that supposed to be like that, Johnstone?
This cloaking device just never
No.
seems to work right.
That is not how we should be getting out of here. We should be getting out of here stealthily and unnoticed, which is kind of the whole point of how we do things.
Indeed. As you approach, the ramp opens up, giving you access to the inside.
Before I step in, I just do a scan of anything untoward.
Rhonda
There's
is
some-
immediately like,
There's some fresh wear on the outside of the ship. It looks like it's been somewhere.
Fresh wear.
Yeah, you would have to access the ship's logs to see what's been going on. And of course, the AI still is responding to you. It just seems to have locked you out of several very important systems.
Huh. Are our teammates still stuck in the lab?
Yeah, they are still locked in the lab. We're not saying you can manually release the lock. You can also access the ship's security and ship's logs.
Really? Well, then I'm doing that right now. I want to know everything that happened in the
Absolutely.
last hour and 40 minutes.
Absolutely. Apparently, the Reliance took an unscheduled trip to a dimension 00668. And looking at the security logs from that time, you see Pierce disembark the ship while on that unauthorized trip, but not before setting some kinds of safeguards in place. And there's also seems to be a video message left for you by Pierce in the logs.
Is there a star wipe in it? Because I think that would really make his face pop.
Commander Stone, I'd say I'm sorry for the deception, but I'm not. There's something I need to do, and I know the Council of Peers would have had you stop me, and I can't allow that to happen. I've preset the Reliance to take you where you need to go, and some other stops along the way, in case you need to get out and stretch your legs or something. There's some surprises set up if you try to tamper with any of this, so for your own sake and that of the team, don't do that. I wouldn't have done this if I didn't have to, but I have a promise to keep. I'll see you soon, John. Take care.
Ooh,
What
he
was the
screwed
attitude in
us.
that recording? Was he grim and solemn? Was he cavalier? Was he?
Pierce is either sarcastic or cavalier about just about everything, but there seemed to be some definite resolve to that. Much more resolve than you're used to seeing from him. Like whatever he's doing, despite it being completely unauthorized and potentially catastrophic and against any and all orders, he really finds it important, whatever it is.
Is there any way so I know where it went.
Yeah, you know where it went, and it seems that the Reliance is preset to jump to some different dimensions from here. Now, some of them are listed on your missions that you have planned up ahead, but some of them are not, and you don't seem to have any control over it at the present time.
Is the council aware of what has happened?
You don't think so, and it looks like that your contact system has been blocked by whatever he's set in place. He doesn't want you getting in touch with the Council of Peers. You think you might be able to come up with some workarounds in time, but he's a pretty tricky guy, that Pierce, and fairly savvy with tech.
I want to go through all the
John Stone.
security. What's that,
I
Mux?
thought this was Guardians of the Galaxy, but this is turning into Voyager super fast.
Rhonda just comes in and is like, all my badges were out of order. Did the ship move and go somewhere? Because definitely like best human shield is usually behind like number one volunteer. So
I want to go through all the surveillance footage to see if there's anything that clues me into what he was plotting, anything he muttered to himself, anything he researched in the databases, anything like that.
Nothing of that sort, but watching each little bit of the security footage, you can tell by the way he was so quick about things and methodical and meticulous that he's been planning this for a while. This wasn't a spur of the moment decision. this was all set up. Like his go bag was already packed. He had pre-programmed all these different security systems in place and countermeasures in place. This was something he's been setting up on the sly for at least a while. This was planned.
Pierce is a shady guy, but he's not evil. Something about this. But we can't even find out what it is. We can't follow or help him. Oh, and I unlocked the lab to let our teammates out.
They have been in the lab. Paul has been performing experiments with the assistance of Princess Hedgehog, who's been trying to demonstrate magic so that Paul can analyze it from a scientific method.
Well, they don't seem too terribly put out. That's good, right?
They were completely unaware they had been locked in the entire time.
So the ship is automatically going to just jump to the next mission soon by itself.
Yeah, you don't seem to have any say on that at this present moment. Again, you might be able to do some workarounds, but he did leave that somewhat ominous warning about surprises being set up for that.
So, did he screw us? Was I right?
Well, depends on the meaning of screw. I mean, he left us without him piloting the ship, but I think he may have put himself into more danger and kind of screwed himself, actually.
I'm going to buy you a dictionary.
Right now, I'm going to try to suss out with my hacking abilities, try to suss out what he left for us. See if there's anything in the computer that's going to feed back and kind of spike he tried to leave. What will happen if I try to override things.
That is a wonderful thing. What is your hacking skill, by the way, Johnstone?
12 plus 2.
All right. Can I get a D12 plus 2 and a D6 wild die from Johnstone to see what he can manage to accomplish with this? All right. D12 plus 2 coming up with a 12 is a success with 2 raises. So you're able to find that there are some serious security codes that
Hashtag shout out, when in the timeline did Pierce jump into 00668? Who would be alive then?
Interesting question.
Oh, yeah. So see if I can find out. Thank you, chat. So see if I can find out when in 668, if there's any way for me to, find that out.
Absolutely. You, in fact, are able to get that information from the travel logs. Approximately 15 years post-Dome in 668, which is the dimension of superheroes, for those unfamiliar, is exactly when he chose to arrive.
And where?
Just outside of what once was Sentinel City, the place within the Dome.
Huh. Okay, and what is the hacking?
The hacking, you've discovered there's numerous security protocols in place protecting the jump program, and more importantly, preventing you from retaking control of the ship. If you attempt to force access, you could inadvertently trigger randomized jumps from the Alliance, or perhaps the inability to jump back into a dimension at all and remain in between them.
Oh, that sounds
but
terrible.
You do have a highly skilled technical team, so maybe working together, you might be able to come up with a strategy. Unfortunately, we're going to have to wait till next Monday to find out what happens with that. I want to thank everyone for joining us for this episode of The Reliables. We had some great, fun action sequences. We got to have our dance party, our rule of cool. You got to see some more great stuff from our characters. You got to experience some more of the awesome rule system that is Savage Worlds. If you're a tabletop RPG player, you need to check out Savage Worlds. It's an incredible, incredible thing. But yeah, thank you all so very much for joining us. We will see you next time on The Reliables. We love you all so much. Don't forget to check out the other great stuff on the Fantasy Network and on Zoe. Don't forget all the little wonderful things. There's Void Jumpers. There are episodes of Zoe Game Night. There is so much stuff on the Fantasy Network. You could watch it for the rest of this entire year and still not see everything on there.
You could really just watch Masters of the Metaverse for that entire year.
You really could. And for the new people that have joined us, if you want to see some fun background Easter eggs type stuff, you can watch Masters of the Metaverse and learn a lot of things about various dimensions and the people that go there, and perhaps even the Council of Peers themselves. But we'll see you guys next time for more action, more adventure, more misadventures and mistakes from the Reliables. Bye.
Bye.